As many of you probably know, I'm creating a Pokemon region and game based on Hollow Knight Silksong. The start of the region is a convergent Eevee called Weavy, who, just like Eevee, has multiple possible evolutions. But just being handed a specific starter without any autonomy kinda takes away a bit of the fun of Pokemon. So, by a suggestion of Blank Maybe, I decided to give players the choice of choosing a set of starters in the style of Pokemon Legends Arceus. So you get to choose between 3 starters from different regions, and their final evolution would be a regional form with a new type. In this case, you can choose between Chespin, Scorbunny and Squirtle. So, as you know, Chespin evolves into Quilladin, and later into Chesnaught, a grass and fighting type Pokemon. But in this case, I decided to make regional Chesnaught resemble the false knight. I made it look rounder, and instead of creating a spiky shield with its arms, it wields a large mace with a chestnut at the tip, representing the weapon that the false knight has. By the way, remember to subscribe, like and leave a comment to help support the channel if you want to see more designs. Anyway, meet Volumian Chesnaught, a grass and steel type Pokemon. The shell of this Pokemon hardens into steel as it matures. It instinctively positions itself between allies and danger, expanding its body to absorb incoming attacks. As for its ability, well, it gets overgrow like every other grass starter, but for its hidden ability, I went with Iron Barbs, quite fitting for a steel type Chestnut Pokemon. Stat wise, I made it a bit bulkier but with less attack than regular Chestnut. I gave the 3 starters a custom move. In the case of Chestnut, it now learns Iron Bastion, which protects itself and its ally from incoming attacks, but only 75% of the damage. Next we have Scorbunny's final evolution, Cinderace. Cinderace is a rabbit who creates a fireball that it kicks, resembling a soccer player. Do you know who else in Hollow Knight throws balls at you? Yup, Dung Defender. So in this case, Cinderace would be a fire and poison type Pokemon that shoots flaming balls of... let's call it dirt. Fun fact, rabbit poo is also round, so do whatever you want with that information. Meet Volumian Cinderace. This Pokemon forms compact balls of heated soil, which it kicks at its foe with remarkable accuracy. Highly competitive by nature, it will use feints, ambushes and even underhanded tactics to secure victory. For its ability, I went with Merciless, which makes it so that it always strikes a critical hit if the opponent is poisoned. And for its stats, slightly faster than Cinderace but with lower attack, which won't be very noticeable thanks to its ability and custom move, Toxic Strike, a fire type attack with a 30% chance to poison the opponent. And the final starter is Squirtle. While not based on a boss of the game, it's based on quite an interesting creature we find in the game, the Immova. You find him floating at the top of the cradle close to the surface. As it looked very similar to turtles, I thought it would be quite interesting to make Blastoise a water and flying turtle, and just for the fun of it, I also gave it back War Turtle's fluffy tail and ears that for some reason regular Blastoise just loses. I wasn't too sure what colour should make its face, and I ended up trying different things, and for some reason the red face really spoke to me. I think it gives it a nice contrast even though it's not present in the original Immova design. Meet Volumian Blastoise, now a water and flying type Pokemon. Having shed the heavy cannons from its body, this Pokemon has taken to a quiet life in remote mist-filled caverns. Gentle currents of air carry it as it drifts in silence, avoiding conflict whenever possible. It is rarely seen, as it instinctively retreats from the presence of others, preferring solitude over strife. For its hidden ability, I gave it Wind Rider, which makes its attack go up 1 stage if hit by a wind-based move. Its attack also goes up if Tailwind is up, a move that it would also learn. As for its stats, it has a little more bulk, and instead of being a mixed attacker, it centers more on physical attack as it's lost its cannons, but its speed also went down. And for its custom move, I created Drifting Gale, a 70 base flying type attack that doubles its power if Tailwind is up. Next we have a very requested Pokemon, the Unraveled. But before that, remember that you can become a member to help support the channel and get some awesome perks. Anyway, back to the video. I decided to turn it into a 3-stage ghost type, and got inspired by mummies as the Unravel and the enemies you find in the White Ward are wrapped in silk. Its first stage is based on the Dreg Husk, making its bandages stretch forward in order to attack you. Meet Tadaroon, a ghost type Pokemon said to be the spirits of long forgotten royal servants who were buried with their master. Tadaroon wanders in silence. It clings to its worn bandages, bound by duties it could not abandon in life. Its second stage is based on the drag wheel, an enemy that spins and bounces on the floor. What stands out from this enemy the most is its body being split in two. So I made the Pokemon be two parts that are barely stuck together by a bandage. Meet Necrovale. It wanders ancient burial sites, guarding the resting places of long forgotten kings. Its body hangs in two parts, bound by cursed wrappings it uses to ensnare intruders and drain their life force. And its final stage, as I already mentioned, is based on Unraveled, the boss from Whiteward. The boss fight is quite different to other bosses in a way that it's all very tight. You don't have much room to move, and you can't hurt it from above because of its golden arm. So you need to be very close to it and strike fast to then run away. So I wanted to implement this feeling of tightness and overwhelming presence by making it quite big. As it has a golden mask, I decided to give it an eye and mouth on its body instead of head. So it would wrap its bandages around its enemy and bring them close to its mouth to eat them and suck their soul. Meet Rabble Wraith. Deep within sealed ruins, Rabble Wraith stretches its wrappings to fill entire corridors. Escape is said to be impossible once its bandages begin to close in. For its abilities, I went with Pressure and Shadow Tag, as it doesn't let you escape by wrapping you with its bandages. And for its stats, I gave it a lot of HP to represent the Unraveled being the formation of many souls. It's quite slow, but with decent bulk and a good attack. Next we have a regional Yamask. Masks are very important in the Hollow Knight universe. There's a character in both games who creates all of the masks for every conscious being, which seems to give them their identity as well as let them focus in order to not go insane. So for this Yamask, I decided to shape the mask it has like the one you see when you collect 4 mask fragments. I decided to make it an ice type because you find a mask maker in Mount Fae. So in this case, it carves the mask out of ice. I made its size spiral like that as a reference to what the mask maker's eyes look like when you remove their mask. Meet Volumian Yamask, a ghost and ice type Pokemon believed to be the spirit of lost travellers in snowy mountains. It doesn't remember its past life, so it copies someone's face with ice in order to create a mask that gives him a personality. So this Pokemon can have all kinds of personalities depending on who he meets. As for its ability, both the Unova and Galarian Yamask have an ability that changes someone's ability. So I decided to go with this pattern and create a custom ability called Spirit Mask. When a Pokemon faints in the battlefield, you copy its ability. And even if you already copied an ability, it will still copy another ability if another Pokemon faints. Not sure if it will make it stack or just change every type, depending on how hard it is to implement in the game. As for its evolution, it's based on the mask maker you find in Silksong. I also based it on Inuit spirit masks that they use to communicate with spirits. I also gave it some other mask on its body because it carves the face of other dead people or Pokemon and just collects them all, making it have all kinds of personalities. I also gave it some claws that it uses to carve the masks. Meet Vizerigus. It creates masks from the faces of those who perish in the snowy mountains of Volume, creating all kinds of different faces that it wears, changing its personality depending on the one it's wearing at the moment. And for its stats, I noticed that Runerigus and Cofarigus have similar stats, but they swapped their attack and special attack, so I did something similar. It's a physical attacker and the rest is the same, but it swapped its defense and special defense, making it very bulky on its special side. And for the final Pokemon of the day, we have an attuned form. This time, it's an attuned form of Goodra. I was thinking what Pokemon should Lace have in her team, and I think it would be interesting if just how Mother Silka has a team full of attuned Pokemon, Lace also has the same in her final fight, representing the Void Lace fight. So I need Pokemon that have a certain resemblance with Void creatures, and Hisuian Goodra just so happens to be a snail. So I based it on one of the snail shamans as their followers of the Void. I specifically made it look like this snail shaman that helps you seal Grandmother Silk, as they both have some goo hanging from their chin. Also, Hisuian Goodra is a great addition in this region due to the constant mentions of contamination in the region, so I can see it being a Pokemon found in bile water. Meet Attuned Goodra, now a Dragon Psychic type consumed by darkness. This Pokemon has enhanced its powers, allowing it to create powerful barriers to protect itself. For its ability, I gave it Magic Guard, which goes well with its Shaman Snail theme, as well as helping it with its bulk as it won't suffer passive damage. And for its stats, I swapped its defenses, so it now has a bigger defense than special defense, and I gave it a little more special attack. And that is all for today. Just a reminder that you can become a member to help support the channel, as well as letting you know that we have a Discord group where we chat or even work on the fan game, so be sure to join if you're interested. And finally, I would like to thank my members, Pokedex Fillers, Dre Tats, Sensaki Farrell, Stanley Pop Gaming, Lisa Alderson Scott, Fire9596, Antonio Rudder, and Birosi Mao. Thank you all for sticking until the end, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.